Hey, Kim. DJ Kim, thanks so much. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining. Happy Tuesday. RE Live session, Real Estate Live, our monthly session. And thanks again for whoever's joining us. And I know more is going to jump on the call. And if you missed it, this is right now being recorded. We're going to show on our YouTube channel afterwards. So special guests today. Looking forward to hear more and learn more from them and about them. And I came up with the proper shirt, Buy Dirt. You'll understand more why in a few minutes.
I love it.
Right? You bet. All right, so let me just jump start. And Simon, I'm actually going to have you lead us on with the quote. Simon, not sure if he's. You go.
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, change is inevitable. Growth is optional. John C. Maxwell. Hey, Minnie, what famous book did he write?
Well, a few of them, right? But I was about just to echo that. Another great person says change is inevitable. Participation is optional. Gary Keller. Right. Remember that?
Right.
Yeah. So it means what to you, Holly?
Yeah, it's just there's a big difference that we need to understand between change and growth. Change is going to happen to us no matter what. It's just the nature of being a human being and living on this earth and going through, especially real estate and owning your own business, right? But growth is learning opportunities about those changes, right? Growth, change is just going through them. Growth is learning, gleaning, and growing from those opportunities. So it's just important to understand the distinction. And Gary also said something really good as well, where he was talking about the road to, I'll remember the quote and I'll share it with you guys, but long story short, it's about, just really making that choice about growing and having that road be less populated, right? The road to growth. So I'll find out the quote and post that for you guys. It reminds me a lot
awesome.
of it.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Holly. And again, take that. And that's everything in life is optional. I just pick the side and be part of that. I had the pleasure today to introduce and host amazing people part of the KW tribe. We have Kasey Mack. He's the director of KW Land, I believe, out in Texas right now, Kasey. And
yep, I'm in Texas. Yeah, I've run KW Land since 2014 and own an expansion team as well, the Mock Ranch Group, based in Texas.
That's incredible. I'm going to hear more from Kasey in a second. And we have, together with part of their operations, Emily Randolph. Emily, she's the operation coordinator for KW Land. Emily?
Also out in Austin, Texas. Yeah, I operate, do the operations coordinator alongside Kasey. We're running the KW Land program and excited to tell everyone a little bit more about it.
So it's to you. Some time out of the schedule, right? I mean, the last few years, more than before, about the mindset of buy land, and I mentioned I got one of those Gary Keller t-shirts, Buy Dirt, right? And that the whole concept, and you guys right now leading and spearheading the whole land division of KW, which is a massive, huge thing. Kasey, we'd love to hear from you guys more about your guys' background, what you guys doing, and just whatever you guys want to share with us.
Yeah, you bet. Emily, you want to go or want me to take it?
Well, you can get started if you want, and I can talk a little bit more about the logistics if you want.
Cool. So thanks for having us first. KW Land is agent success story, if you will. 2013, 12 and 13, there was a group of agents that a group of us were selling land at a high level at that time, and commercial and luxury were established, but there wasn't a farm ranch land division. So we formed a mastermind group. Had a guy named Danny Thompson, who was, I believe, director of operations at KWRI at that time, who was our report person. And man, we got together and mastermind models that would work for agents. And so we got together and said, hey, what would it look like for KW to really lean and embrace rural land specialists and provide a value there? And so we brought multiple business plans to Mary Tennant and to Mark Willis and to Gary, and got one adopted in 2014. We started that. It's been a very interesting space for KW. And right now, I think as you've said, even with your T-shirt there, with Gary's recent messaging, gosh, the emphasis and the priority and the microscope on land at this time has never been bigger. So I think land's probably one of your bigger growth opportunities, Manny. You look at the inventory issue that almost all residential brokers have, residential agents have. Land can solve that. You look at a hedge against inflation, or an asset that's really going to stay strong. It's in a limited quantity. You've heard the term buy dirt. They're not making any more of it. Land is just a really, really strong asset. And KW's uniquely positioned at this time to really take a lot of territory in the land industry with what's available through KWIN, through Indy, and our ability now to go into some of these transitional and then more rural markets and start merging in indies and start taking in some of these business owners and operators and providing them with the things that we can do at KW, and that is technology, talent, market share, culture. If you go in rural America, see that the independent land brokers getting squeezed today because they're getting squeezed on one end by KW and the franchise companies, because you look up and more of rural America is owned by non-resident landowners every day, right? Because the money it takes to afford rural land isn't usually made in rural America. It's made in urban centers. And so somebody works or operates in the city and they go invest in land, whether it's a recreational tract, a investment tract, whatever it is, right? And so they go purchase this. So they're getting squeezed by the franchisors like us. They're also getting squeezed on the top end by just the amount of available large acres tracts to get cut up every day. And so these rural brokers in rural America, these independent land brokers in rural America, are getting squeezed on both ends, and they're never going to win the technology conversation. They're only going to be dependent on what somebody else sells them, right? They're never going to win the talent conversation, because you're going to win that. KW's going to win the talent conversation, and they're going to continue to lose market share. So they're getting squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. And so for leadership inside KW, we've got a great opportunity today to leverage what we call KW Land here as a discussion point to really just go show people what KW does well. And that is tech, talent, and market share, and go give somebody a growth path and partner with them. We've seen, land values across the country this year skyrocket. In addition to, as y'all know, residential properties have as well, but land values have just skyrocketed. Land's a very different asset. I don't know how many of your leaders on here or agents you have on that have bought and sold or subdivided or managed rural land, but it's a very different asset. The way it's treated from taxation, both property taxes, the incentives for you on your income taxes are very different. Land typically doesn't produce a ton of cash flow like a commercial property or a residential property. You go buy it and you've got a tenant that has positive cash flow. So over time, your tenant pays for that. Land typically doesn't positive cash flow. It used to. Anymore, if you can find something that produces positive cash flow, it's a pretty rare asset, and that cap rate's pretty thin, because a lot of people would love to get into that because it's a very tangible physical asset. We farm and ranch. My family does. My father-in-law has said multiple times, land's a great thing to own, but you can't take a wheelbarrow full of dirt to the grocery store to buy groceries. And so, you've heard the land rich, cash poor. You can get into that situation, but land has also got some of the highest returns available to it by repurposing to a higher use, getting entitlement, bringing sewer, water, developing a piece of property, subdividing a piece of property, or just waiting on time to catch up. So I think the market's really, really outstanding at the time.
It's just so much wealth of information in not even 5 minutes, Kasey. So all just really good stuff. And it's true even before even, ever before, especially here in California, because last year they changed the zoning over here, the Proposition 9, if you heard about it here in California, that you can rezone any residential R1 to basically subdivide it to 2 lots and develop up to, fourplex at each lot, etc. So it makes the land over here even more luxurious. If it's a piece of dirt or existing R1 zoning like residential. So it's so true, and I think people are still trying to catch up with that more than before to understand what it is. And of course, it
gets complex. It gets complex, right? Because there's a tremendous amount of overlap in luxury and commercial and new homes with what we consider land, because land can mean farm and ranch land, agriculture, timber, conservation, but it can also mean a quarter of an acre lot in the city that can be repurposed. And so land means a lot of different things. That's why under every single piece of property that you buy and sell, there's a land survey, meets and bounds, and a legal description of the piece of ground that it sits on. And so really it gets complex, because I can go into a subdivision and I can evaluate a dozen homes on a given street, and the deed restrictions look all the same. They're getting their utilities, their water, sewer, power from the same place. The square foot, the value per square foot is going to be comparable. I just have to, it's not that residential's not a challenging business, because it very much is. It's got its own complexities that we don't always deal with in land. But land gets really, there's a lot of layers to it when you talk about water, sewer, solar, renewables, tax credits, carbon, oil and gas. And then you start talking about entitlements for sewer, water, transportation, zoning, what can be done. You can take a given piece of property, a given piece of dirt, if you will, and you can go a lot of different ways with that. And so it's neat, because a raw piece of land gives the owner operator, it's like a raw canvas. You can go a lot of ways with it. You can go into multifamily, you can go into conservation, you can go into renewables. There's a lot of ways to go with that. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, and again, the bottom line is really understand the opportunities and get ourselves educated and buy more of this, right? Not the t-shirts, but the actual dirt.
I still don't have one of those t-shirts, man. I don't know where to get them.
It's coming to you.
It's coming. Emily, what do you want to keep sharing with us? And I have some slides of it. I'm not sure if it's part of your presentation.
Yeah, we were just going to come on and talk a little bit too about how to get involved with land if you're interested, and this is something that you want to pursue or something that you would find of interest and value in training. Our KW Land Division has the highest GCI of any KW community, luxury, commercial, any of them. Our land agents are really powerhouses in what they do, and they're good at it. We do a lot of education, syndication, networking, referrals. With KW Land, there's a lot of other benefits involved. We do live trainings every month with land, and we do masterminds. This is a list of all the properties or all of the places that we syndicate your listings out to: the Land Broker MLS, Lands of America. So we get your properties out and syndicated to a lot of different land sites. And then, like I mentioned, we have our masterminds and live trainings every month, and we go through a lot of different, there it is, a lot of different just training aspects. We do launch and land as well for new land practitioners. If you're interested in the course, it goes through 50 some modules, and our director Kasey here leads it. We talk a little bit about, as he mentioned, a little bit more in depth, timber, development, acquisition, highest and best use, everything land. So we have a lot of different options for land if that's something that you're interested in getting involved in. We also have our extensive vendor network and our summit. So we have a lot of different opportunities here to get involved and educated. And you can join us online at kw.com/careers. We have $35 a month membership if you want to give it a shot and see if it's something that you're interested in. Join one of our trainings, our monthly masterminds, and we'd love to see you. We'd love to help bring everyone up to the KW Land training and get the ball rolling with land.
Manny, what's the audience? Are we predominant leadership or agents or mix? Who's our audience here today?
It's mostly agents, and just to share a little bit as well. I mean, we are in Southern California, right? The Los Angeles, the greater Los Angeles County, if you may, and it's mostly land. It's not as as much agriculture or what have you. It's mostly like redevelopment, rezoning, subdivisions you mentioned, stuff like that. We do have only a handful of people that specialize in land, and I can tell you what you mentioned, Emily, is spot on. Those guys making a lot of money, big money, because we refer all those land questions or whatever to those guys.
Mhm.
And most of them are members, by the way. So it's definitely worthwhile to participate in such a close niche.
We had a 93% retention rate last year by land members. So that's industry leading. The return on investment is really strong. Emily and I push to keep dues or the investment low because we want to make sure that this is a strong return. Just that launch and land course in and of itself would cost you what the annual membership costs. I just took a course called Land 101 last week through Realtors Land Institute, RLI. And, our course is modeled off of that. And Land 101 is a great course. Our course is far more interactive than what RLI's course is. I think you learn a lot there. That's also a great course to put your EA through, your buyer's agent through. If you hire a listing specialist, you start bringing agents onto a team. That's intended to also serve as a training course that you can leverage to put your team members through, to take some of that training off of you so that you're all speaking the same language, right? And you know where the bathroom is and what the acronyms are, because there's a lot of that in KW, right? So that launch and land course is really outstanding in and of itself. But the referral network's outstanding. The mastermind opportunities are really, really good. We're intentional about that. So we do a monthly training where we go through a module from launch and land. We do a monthly leadership series. We do a monthly mastermind series. And then quarterly, we have some type of face-to-face. So like this next end of this week at Spring Masterminds, we will have a land specific segment at Spring Masterminds in Nashville. We'll have our fall land summit in Austin. We have some events at Mega Camp and at Family Reunion. And then we cooperate with Realtors Land Institute, RLI, on some of their events as well.
And kind of compliment to this picture, by the way. I mean, whoever is watching us right now and later, you can never know who that needs any kind of land specialist. This is like a image that we're gonna see like in Northern California, right? And we did sell, not directly, we had to refer out a few of those type of lands like vineyards and what have you, up in Northern California, big money. So what are the benefits, Kasey, Emily, to be part of the KW Land Tribe? Do you guys, of course, you have that network, but do you guys refer business to one another or different resources as well?
Go ahead, Emily.
Sorry, what was that? Could you cut out there at the very end?
Sorry, yeah.
I don't know if that was me. I don't know if that was me cutting out or Minnie. It sounds like it's Manny.
Yeah, sorry. So my question was, how does it work when you guys are referring business to one another, between the members of the land community?
Yeah, so for KW Land on command, if you're a KW Land member, you have the ability to be exclusive on that KW Land aspect, on that KW Land tag. So you have this referral network. And then the other thing, in addition to command, is that we are one of the smaller, I say smaller with quotes, because we're still pretty big. We have over 500 members, but that enables people to really get to know each other and kind of understand a lot of the main land people across the country and really get to know some faces. Family reunion, masterminds. I was really surprised at how many people knew each other, coming up and scheduling coffee and dinners after people really get to know each other. It's a large sense of community. So in addition to the command network of referrals, our land agents really know each other, and it's a really nice community supporting each other.
Yeah, it's a great community. And it's a community too. If you have a question about getting a property entitled, a question about a contract, a mineral rights question, a question about investing, because I think a lot of our agents are missing opportunities to invest in land personally. So every piece of ground or every house too that you look at, you should think, can I buy this? First, can I partner with it? Second, third, do I have a buyer for it? Fourth, do I list it? And if I bring a buyer, do I want equity or do I want a commission? And so, like me personally, I'd love to get paid a commission on about a third of what I sell, and the rest of it, I'd like to buy or have equity in. And so if you think about land's a great way to build future wealth in and above just the commission opportunity, because you've got the base of every future real estate transaction. You're controlling the base and the foundation of every future real estate transaction that gets done on that piece of property. And so if you think about that, how do you maintain an interest in that? But it's a tremendous network and a tremendous source of questions, information, knowledge, training, referrals, the mastermind platform. I think that's where the value is. The referral deal, we talk about that, and the referral network's very robust. It is very robust because it is one of the smaller communities inside of KW. So if you think there's 180,000 agents that should be referring their land stuff to 500, it sounds really great, but you still have to build the relationship. And so, what we try to do is provide you with the training, the knowledge, and the platform to go expand and build those relationships so that you can build out that referral network faster, easier, more profitably, with less of a distraction.
Sorry, I was going to say that's a good question. What's the best way for an agent to promote that they are part of land? With KW Land, we also have a specific marketing material for land agents. We're creating listing presentations specific to land that are coming out here shortly. And the ability to brand yourself as land and really capture that market share, identify yourself as a land specialist with our marketing materials, as well as one of the really good ways to do that.
Hey, Manny, I've got a question. Yeah, okay, perfect. So let's say I'm an agent doing residential sales here in California, and I get a land, someone who wants to buy land, invest in land. It's not something I want to start off with or, even delve into. How do I find someone who's qualified for my area, possibly in state or out of state, and connect them with a realtor? What's the best? Do you guys have a directory or?
Go ahead, Emily. I'll let you field that.
I would say through the KW Land referral network and being able to select the KW Land tag. We also do have a directory. We can't give it out fully for privacy reasons, but if you just email land@KW and shoot us a quick request, we'll be able to provide you a list of people specifically in the region that you're looking for.
Yeah, you can go to the website too and search. You can always go to the land website, kwland.com, and you can search your area and see who has stuff listed. You can always start there. You can search a filter through command, or like Emily said, if you have a specific type of a property, you can email us and we can send you a couple of people that might niche in that. That's, y'all understand what E to P means, right? That's still very much operating in E. That's still very much operating in entrepreneurial field based. So that's not ultra scalable in the future. But today, I guess that's the advantage of working with a boutique kind of a group. And we can help get you with those right people because there's only 500 of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is, if we don't have somebody there, we can look into like commercial, let's say, and see if we have somebody in commercial. If not, we can get you, like I send some referrals occasionally. I don't like to, but I send referrals outside of KW occasionally into the Realtors Land Institute network, or into the land broker co-op network. And for those of you that are into recruiting, there's a great opportunity too when you find out that, hey, we don't have somebody that services this region, but there's certainly professionals there. That's an opportunity too to go build a relationship there and see if you can't bring that person into your world as a win-win deal. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have more questions over here. I'm excited that okay.
That's awesome.
Besides the KW Land designation, do you guys have any other certifications or designations as far as land goes, specialists, etc.?
Yeah, so we don't have a certification through KW, but our vendor partner, Realtors Land Institute, they have a land accreditation program. It's called ALC, the Accredited Land Consultant, and that is the main designation within land real estate world across the country. So they're one of our vendor partnerships. We get discounts for all of their courses as KW Land members. Your application fee for Realtors Land Institute is also waived as a KW Land member. And I'd say many of our members choose to get involved with the Realtors Land Institute and get that accreditation. It is not necessarily an easy feat. It's very time intensive. The education, it's legit, it's the real deal. And it's a huge accomplishment to be an ACL, but we have the highest percentage of ACLs in our division.
I think there's only like 240 accredited land consultants across the country. So it's equivalent to go getting a master's degree, earning a master's degree or an MBA, but in land sales. So there's, what is it, Emily? Like something like 200 hours of education, courses, and then $10 million in sales and in qualifying sales. It's intense, but the accredited land consultant designation is the industry gold standard. And we do partner with them. We have, annually 2 or 3 agents that earn that. At the RLI events, we typically have, which I'm proud of KW because we're learning based, we typically will have some of the largest attendance at all of their courses and at their national conference, which is outstanding to see. And what that tells me is, in 2, 3, 5 years from now, the market share that your company's going to take 2, 3, 5 years from now is just going to continue to grow because today we have agents investing in that type of training, and knowledge. So that just tells me that our path looks really good as long as we have people investing in that.
Kasey, I have a question for you. This is Simon Cazares. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Simon. How are you, sir?
Good.
I'm trying to find you over here. I'm scrolling. I'm in my truck, obviously.
No worries.
I'm scrolling across the bottom, trying to find you here. I got you. I found you.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. Again, valuable information. What are the qualifications to become a KW LAN and have that? Is it a specific productions, experience? Can you tell us a little bit more about that, please?
Yes, sir. So if you're an agent that's already in production, it would be 2 qualifying land transactions annually and at least 15% of your GCI. And so some of that's honor system. Also, you can get your team leader to give an endorsement or what have you on that. And now, so that's it for a producing agent. For a new agent, because we hire a lot, I do personally, and then KW Land will end up recruiting a lot of agents out of agriculture, out of development, out of oil and gas, out of different land related fields, but they are true land specialists. They're just new to real estate. Those people can obviously step right in. And I would advise the team leader to assign them a productivity coach and have some metric for reviewing the contract. But those people understand land at a really high level. They're just new to real estate. And as if y'all have seen in different niches of real estate, if you can go get somebody that's really a true specialist in an area, in a demographic, in an area, in a geographic area, what have you, they can really scale quickly. We just have to make sure that they're not getting us in lawsuits, right, or getting you guys in lawsuits on contracts. But I think answered your question. So 2 qualifying transactions, which are 5 acres and up, or 15% of your GCI annually.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yep. Yes, sir. And we do. So some people say, well, man, I've sold land that's 1 or 2 acres. So we had to put a standard somewhere. And the other thing, once you get below that 5 acres, you start getting so much overlap with commercial, with new homes or residential sales that it gets really difficult. You don't always need a specialized set of tools for a rural land specialist, And so once you start getting those really small tracts, there's some exceptions. You could do a vineyard or a vineyard or orchard or fruits or something like that. They could be smaller and can actually be, full on agriculture. But you start to get more into commercial operations or something that overlaps with new homes or construction. Once they get that small, they've been platted already or something.
I don't see any other questions. And I apologize on my end on the poor Wi-Fi connection over here. I'm sorry again. Kasey Mark, Director of KW Land, and Emily Randolph, Land Operation Coordinator. Guys, can't thank you enough. You guys do an amazing job. Keep it up. Thank you, and buy dirt.
Hey, thank y'all so
dirt.
much. Please reach out to us and let us know how we can help you all grow this part of your business. We'd love to. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
For having us.
Thank you. What a pleasure. That was Kasey Mark and Emily Randolph, our people in KW Land. With that, I'm going to give it to you, Simon Cazares. Simon, give us some broker update, please.
Yeah, so there's really not much broker updates, but I do want to stress and emphasize, I'm getting a lot of referral agreements. And, I want to make sure that we're all crystal clear that an email does not suffice a referral agreement, meaning that an agent-to-agent transactions, say I'm referring business, a buyer or a seller to another agent to facilitate, an email doesn't really suffices the agreement. This is the purpose and the reason we have these California forms, right? The referral agreement form. And ultimately, the bigger picture also, folks, is that you have to get the broker or the manager sign off on this, okay? Because I'm dealing with one particular scenario right now that they only referred, and both agents agreed to pay a 20% agreement, and it's strictly on an email. But the problem was when I referenced the agent, I says, do you have the form executed? She says, no. Legally, I'm obligated to, provide a referral agreement. I said, yes, you do. You legally have to in order for us to go after. Because now what I'm seeing is in this particular scenario is that the agent that she referred a buyer. So the big thing was that she had a off-market not necessarily a pocket listing, but an off-market with another agent that had this property. And this was a $12 million transaction. Now, she didn't want to give the information to the agent who had a buyer that wanted to buy it in this specific area. So she ultimately agreed to a 20% referral, and that was in writing via email. Now she went through the motions, disclosed the address, and she just forgot about it. About a month and a half later, she realized, oh my gosh, the same agent that I referred the address is now listing the property. Now, what happened was that the buyer that she represented ended up buying the property, renovating the property, and then put the property back on the market, and it's relisted again. And with the agent that was referred is the agent now that is listing the property as well. So she reached out to me and said, hey, you know what? I never got paid. And I said, did you reach out to the agent? She says, no, because this agent is, in her words, sharky, okay? And again, I just want to be as transparent as possible because I don't want you to lose the opportunity from these agreements. They're there for a purpose, right? And the purpose is to get compensated for giving someone an opportunity, right? Referring a buyer, referring a seller. And this is also per the contract says that agent to agent transactions or referrals are not have the ability to get paid a commission. It has to be through the brokerages, especially if you're a salesperson. So I want you to be very clear on this, that the expectations from any of the market centers is that you need to get the proper form, sign and execute it and send out. And this is again for out-of-state transactions as well, because now we have a base, now we have a foundation, and now we can argue the fact that yes, the brokerage is due a compensation or a commission. Now this is going sideways because we don't have a valid form. Okay, so I've stepped in and we're going to navigate this because now the agent is saying, well, you know what? We didn't have anything in writing, is what she is claiming. Okay, so just as a update today, folks, anytime you're referring business, please make sure that you are signing and executing these forms. Okay, they're there for that purpose. So that way you don't have to go to mediation and now fight for your commission. So that's all I have, Minnie. Thank you for the opportunity. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
Simon Cazares, broker moment. Thank you so much. Always good stuff, and always learning something new. Much appreciated. Now off to our next special guest, Shahar Cohen-Pinto. Shahar, I see you on the screen. Shahar is the CEO of gosource, and I actually had the pleasure to meet Shahar in their offices in Santa Monica, and saw a live presentation of what those guys are doing or do, and it's just mind-blowing. Shahar, can you hear me fine?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Thanks. Hi guys.
Welcome.
To meet. Thank you,
Yeah.
Manny, and nice to meet you guys. And a pleasure to be part of the team meeting. Just wanted to give you kind of a rundown about what we do, just to see if there is a potential collaboration between a technology-enabled company and the services you guys are providing to your customers. I would love to share a little bit about our background and what we do.
Yeah, Shahar, did you need to share screen or just?
Yeah, I'll love to. Let me see if I can. Okay, can you see my Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So just a brief background. In the last 10 years, I oversaw a venture portfolio and helped a company called Omninet Capital to build their real estate portfolio. It was a commercial portfolio, primarily office buildings, multifamily, shopping center, assisted living facilities, student housing, as well as single family. And my role was basically I started the venture investment for the family. It's actually the family who started Qualcomm, so the background is in deep technology. And my role was to develop technology that will enhance the real estate portfolio. So for instance, when we bought a few hotels in different states, we converted them into senior housing and student housing, and we've developed technology to be able to remote monitor residents in the senior housing facilities and to communicate between students in the student housing properties that we've developed. And something interesting that we realized during COVID when we acquired 6 hotels is that, you know, there is a disconnect between suppliers of construction materials and the end user contractors, because typically a manufacturer of construction materials will sell the materials to a reseller who will sell to a distributor, and in the end of the day it's going to meet a contractor. So within this cycles, the general contractors will pay roughly 60 to 90% markup on materials. And when we bought as bulk buyers directly from the manufacturers and we enhanced technology to improve the sales cycle, we were able to get wholesale prices and actually provide this kind of services to general contractors. So with the notion that the market is extremely inefficient, let me see, very fragmented and behind on technology, we wanted to tackle this vertical because, you know, this is where we are coming from. We build companies, we've developed technology, we improve sales cycle using technology. So we took this challenge, and what we are building today is essentially a marketplace for construction trade. And the way we do it, we apply the playbook of conversational commerce. What does it mean? We basically offer our customers everything they need in one-stop shop, from lumber all the way to finishes. And we introduced in the last 2 months a financial component. So we basically are replacing hard money lenders. So if a contractors need one-stop shop for the entire project, including the design, rendering, selection of materials, lumber, steel, surfaces, kitchens, appliances, all the way to finishes, this is how we provide our services. In a way, we basically complement the service with professional support and making sure that they get everything they need from the get-go. We have the best prices available in the market, and we're available 24/7 to our customers. So even when the day is over and a contractor needs, construction materials to the job site, text message, a customer support gets the message, we process the payment, and we get this delivered. How do we do it? So we have a super super smart engineers that we hired through our relationships and through technology company that we invested in. So for instance, our head of product was the head of product of Magento. That's the first e-commerce platform in the world. So we come from an e-commerce background. We know exactly how e-commerce works. And we apply e-commerce playbook on the industry in a way that we facilitate transaction faster, we make it with a click, and we make the service available for our contractors 24/7. So what you can see here, it's basically a screenshot of our platform. GoSource sourcer will always communicate with the same sourcer, will communicate with the contractor. There are a list of projects in the app that the contractors is working on, and this way we basically can provide services related to a specific project, and we apply artificial intelligence to help the contractor manage this project. So since contractors are constantly on the move, they are not necessarily can allocate time to pick and choose materials, and they always communicate with the designer or with the homeowner. We made it super simple, very intuitive. So we took a very similar user interface to an app that has been used by 1.7 billion people. It's called WhatsApp. And we connected our playbook of commerce into the WhatsApp interface. So in a way, you have the ability to connect all your stakeholders to the project. You can enable them to see prices or disable them to see prices. You have the entire shopping list per project in your cart. And this way you can we can also help you get the relevant content or the complementing materials to your project. We help you to manage the project in the backend. So contractors are not changing anything in the way they manage their project, but through technology, we offer them the complementing materials or the services they need for the project. So what you can see here is basically a simple interaction between contractor and customer support manager. So there is a kitchen reference that a contractor wants to have. We provide the entire takeoff for the kitchen, including a breakdown of all the materials. And it's super, super simple to use, always in the same channel, prices, invoices, history of chat, history of communication between contractors, designers, and our representatives. So this is just a typical onboarding process where when we connect the stakeholders to the project, and based on selection of design references, we provide a full takeoff for the project. So GoSource Marketplace today offer lumber, plumbing fixtures, electrical, flooring, tile, countertops. You can see actually the entire list. And as I was saying earlier, we also introduced the financial component. So it's essentially a one-stop shop. And this is the value that we feel that contractors need in order to get their project done faster, we're on budget, and to avoid unnecessary delays and cost increase. So we do have a website just for you, just to understand the way it works. We do have a website with a selection of our materials. We have about 25,000 products that can be that contractors can buy directly through the website. But what we realize is, since contractors are constantly on the move, they don't have time to search. In the future, we'll have millions of SKUs of products. They just want to record a message or text a message. I need engineered flooring, 9-inch wide. Get me the longest plank you have, white oak. Get it delivered tomorrow. And this is the way we do it. We send the contractor a link, click on it. Once you confirm, we send the box. You confirm the box, we send the entire order. So this is just a selection of a few projects that we've done. We did the kitchen here. We did the flooring, the appliances. We provided paint, HVAC system for this project. This is actually a very cool application that we've developed. It's in the making, but we actually showed the way it works. It's connected in the backend to our marketplace. So the entire selection of our materials for tile, countertops, flooring, kitchens, appliances, paint, everything is connected to our marketplace. We get plans from, let's say, a builder or a designer. It can be also a broker. This is a plan, PDF plan. We don't need any professional file. We don't need CAD file. This is a PDF plan of a house. We want it to be designed. We want it a modern design or transitional or traditional. And by a selection of the materials, style, we render the entire house. So we provide an app to the end user, to the homeowner, so the homeowner can navigate in the house and select all the materials, finishes materials, can communicate with the designer, can select one of our designer preferences for the house, and with a click of a button, the entire shopping list for the project, including surfaces, goes into the job site directly based on the quantity that we were able to pull out from the plan. So this is in a way the future of customizing your home in a very similar way to the way Gen Z and millennials are customizing their sports shoes, right? So super intuitive, very easy to change material selection, share screens with your designer, family members. Once you like the design, with a click of a button, you get the entire shopping list delivered to the job site. So this is just to give you an idea about the finishes materials that we source. We provide handrail in windows. We work with high-end windows like Euroline all the way down to Milgard. We did high-end projects, Hidden Hills, Beverly Hills, as well as commercial properties. This is a penthouse that we did in Las Vegas, 3 stories. We provided everything that you see here, including the baccarat chandelier that we sourced. The entire selection of material here, marble, glass, vanities, custom vanities, all the cabinetry work here was done by our team. Everything that you can see here, and I'm just going quickly through some slides just to give you an idea about the materials that we are sourcing, and it's always going to be less expensive than the market rates. And the reason we can do that, we have a volume discount, because when we purchase hardwood flooring or SPC flooring for commercial properties, we move containers. So we buy 500,000 square feet a month of SPC, we can get the best prices available in the market. And if we will not, we'll let you know. You know, this is a good price. You can share with us estimates, just pursue with your vendor. But in most cases, we are confident that we can beat the market rates based on the experience we had so far with our project. So this is just, you know, a selection of our residential. On the commercial side, we do entire takeoff for commercial properties from the lumber all the way to finishes. We provide design, bathroom, appliances, kitchen sinks, all sorts of accessories for the house, lighting fixtures, plumbing fixtures, entire takeoff for the property. And you can see here the outcome. We provided everything, all the SPC, countertops, appliances, lighting fixtures, door handles, all the hardware that goes into the house or to the property. And this is actually a nice, I'm not sure if the crowd here is, you know, is doing only residential, but just a quick a synopsis about a commercial property we did. This is a building that we bought in Phoenix, Arizona with Untitled Capital. It was dated outside, interior, exterior. So instead of going and changing the glass, that was about $7.5 million for this property. We source window film with 30 years warranty for commercial properties. And what we did, we applied the film on the building. This project, the entire project, including the interior, ended up with less than $1 million. And you can see the outcome. It looks like a beautiful brand new building as opposed to a very dated building that was built in the 80s. And of course, it affected the rents significantly. So this is just, you know, an idea about how our technology can improve significantly the business. And we are open to any collaboration, referrals. We, of course, are offering referrals fees to partners. And if there is a way to work with you guys, we would love to explore potential collaboration. As I was saying, the entire takeoff, we just need plans. From the plans, we take either a contractor or a homeowner. We can help you guys help your customers throughout the entire cycle of the construction, building, remodeling, rehab of commercial property units, anything else related to construction materials. So this is just, you know, a quick overview about what we do.
Well, it's always Shahar, mind-blowing to see the what you guys came up with, and it doesn't really do justice without seeing the actual app that you have. But I think everybody got the idea of what it is. But again, this is brilliant resource for you guys if you have clients who are looking to do some kind of remodeling on the buy side after it was an escrow. On the lease side, if you want to, do some upgrades before they sell. It's not, I'm not going to tag GoSource and Shahar as seller concierge, but it's definitely something that can work pretty well together with the concierge in many, many ways. And of course, outside of that as well. So it just doesn't have like endless potential for sure.
Manny, if we have another minute or so, I can actually show you let me see if we can do it because initially I received a different link. I didn't know that we're going to use the Zoom link, but I can actually show you guys the way it works with our app. If I do have 2 minutes, I can definitely give you an idea about the way the technology improves the business sourcing. Okay, so let me just make sure that we're not going to have okay. I want to be able to share. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're able to let me know if you have any issue.
No, I think now it's fine. Okay, we're probably going to have some latency, but I think you'll be able to better understand the way we actually sourcing the materials. So basically, this is the app. There are a selection of properties here and design preferences. So let's say I select like some sort of a modern or transitional house. We got the plans from the homeowner or contractor or designer, and with the simple questions that we ask about the design preferences, we were able to render the entire house on the fly. So, and the outcome will be an app that you can navigate easily into the house and see the entire selection of materials of the house. So it can be also condo or multifamily. So let's say our designer picked this flooring for you and you're not really happy with the flooring. So you can go check and see what we have in our inventory ready to be shipped. And let's say you do want to keep the hardwood flooring, but you want to change it to chevron design. So with the click of a button, you change it to chevron design. And then if you don't like the paint we selected for you and you want to have like a brick wall, no problem. This will be applied immediately. And of course, this can be also used for furniture. So if you want something brighter or art or lighting fixtures, anything here can be completely redesigned and changed to what we are offering in our database. And let's go to the kitchen now. Let's say you don't like the countertop. You want something more gray, and countertop and backsplash will be black. So anything in the house can be redesigned, and it's connected to our marketplace. And you can teleprompt yourself to different area of the house. You can now design the second floor or the patio or the living room. You can chat with your designer. You can also select one of our design preferences or selection of materials based on our designer selection. And if you liked it, you can take a picture and share it with someone, or you can actually communicate with your designer about your selection. So this is just, a tool that we are developing now to make it super easy and accessible to everyone, for everyone to change the selection of the materials in their new house. So again, Gen Z, millennials, actually I read a couple of months ago, 2 months ago, that 53% of the houses that were sold in 2021 were sold to millennials. So these guys are coming into the market, and it's super intuitive for them to use this kind of tool. So I think the future is there, because, especially on something that will not, I'm not talking about 17,000 square foot houses, but 2,000 square feet, 3,000 square feet home with a specific design that we can help homeowners select. I think this is where the market is going.
Again, Shahar, this is beyond brilliant. Thanks again for sharing, and I think this is actually pretty much what will sum up your presentation in that sense. If you have any questions, Shahar, feel free to drop on the chat your direct email or basically to reach out to you. I know we're going to chat more and share more information in the future. So again, that was Shahar with GoSource. Thanks again for your time, Shahar.
Thank you, guys. If there are no more questions, anyway, if someone has questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah, and Kim, if you don't mind, just to share the Shahar's information to, again, so people can reach out to him directly.
Yep, it's in the
Really
chat.
quickly, just a few more minutes left over here. This is just an overview of the this week's calendar. And Kim, can you find?
Yep. So why don't I go over the calendar, Manny? So we have a lot coming up. This is actually a jam-packed week. We have the color of real estate, which is something that the region is putting on just for us, talking about the unconscious bias that we sometimes don't even know we have in real estate. So that's going to be an interesting one. 11 a.m. on Thursday. And what's the next one, Manny? Oh, and we have Manny's Mastermind. So this is going to be a good one on Thursday at 2 o'clock. Manny has invited some guests with in investment property experience. So we have Lindsay out of the KW Coastal office, who's going to share with us some of her strategies and experiences in investment properties. And then we also have Lior Yehuda. Lior actually has a podcast, a popular podcast that is all around the investment properties topics. So he's going to be joining many. We might have a few other people join us as well, but that's Thursday at 2 o'clock. So join in that. And then, Friday, if you wanted to know more about the KW Concierge, or I'm sorry, Ready Connect, which used to be called Op City, it's our lead platform. This is your chance. It's all about how you get started on the program and what some of the parameters are. So join us there. Make sure you register. The link is in the calendar, and that's Friday at 1 o'clock. Oh, and the last thing is Thursday at 10 a.m. Manny's going to be putting on another special session, all in regards to cryptocurrency and real estate. We'll talk a little bit about the blockchain, Bitcoin, and how people now can utilize that technology in real estate. So we'll have Pacific Coastline escrow officers there to talk about their end and how it works in escrow. And then Grant Luna and David Ryder, also experts in this department. So make sure you join us Thursday at 10 a.m.
And that's next Thursday. That's next Thursday. Yeah,
next Thursday, April 28th.
Yes. Yeah. And that's all we have, guys. Kim, thanks for jumping in and helping out. Take care, everybody.
Good note to end on, Manny.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a great day.